When we are trying to find equivalent fractions for some numbers, it can be helpful to use a picture model to help visualize in your mind what that can look like. So there are a few things to remember when you are looking for an equivalent fraction. Let's say we have 3/4 and we're trying to find the equivalent fraction for 3/4. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a square or a rectangle. I am not going to draw a circle. I don't want to use a circle. It's going to make things more complicated later. And I want to make sure it is tall enough. You'll see why in a few steps. So I don't want to make a shape that is really skinny like this. So I start with a big square or a rectangle. I drew my box. The next thing I want to do is I need to divide my box into the correct number of pieces. How am I going to do that? I'm going to look at my denominator and say I need 4 pieces. I'm going to say I need to draw 3 lines. You're always going to draw one less line than the number in your denominator. So we've got 1, 2, 3 lines gets us 4 pieces. And then after I have divided my pieces, I need to make sure that I am dividing my pieces using only vertical lines. I don't want to draw fourths like this, and again, you'll see why in just a minute, but we want all of our lines to go vertically when we're dividing our shape. The next thing we need to do is to shade in our pieces. So I know my numerator says 3 pieces, so I color 1, 2, 3. And I want to make sure that I'm being careful with my coloring, just doing a quick line like that or shading too far out of the box. We want to be careful, but we also don't want to spend too much time. This is not like perfection art class. It's just making sure we understand the fraction. So after we have shaded in the boxes, we then can find our equivalent fraction. We do this by drawing horizontal lines through the fraction we already drew. So I can draw any number of lines to make it, but we always usually start with drawing one line, saying, all right, I'm chopping this. I did not change the size of the box. I did not change how many pieces I shaded. I just cut them into smaller pieces. So now we had 3/4. It is still 3/4. All I did was put a line through it. And now I can see, well, how many pieces are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces are shaded. And there are 8 pieces total. So because I didn't change my shading, I didn't change anything else, I have an equivalent fraction for 3/4, and it is 6/8. Knowing over here, you can draw more lines. I could draw, if I have 3 lines now, I did not change the shading, it's all the same. But I have 3, 6, 9, 12 pieces out of 4, 8, 12, 16. So I know that 12/16 is also equivalent to 3/4. Something else really important to remember in addition to all these things is that you do not want to chop your box before you've shaded. I've seen some mistakes be made where you draw the boxes and then you start to chop and then we get confused with what we're supposed to shade in. Don't chop before you've shaded in your piece. If you remember to draw your box, make the pieces with vertical lines, then shade, then we can get our equivalent fractions.